It's the Dave and Doc Podcast. Doctor recommended. Take only as directed. May cause dizziness, blurred eyesight, a sense of nervousness, anxiety, loss of sleep, diarrhea, a sense of wonderment, a new meaning of life, minor memory loss, and could cause BO in rare occasions.
Hello, hello.
Happy day, happy day.
How you doing, man?
Man, I got black on. I'm in mourning. I mean, my Vols, we were on the precipice of destiny.
Yes.
And we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
That's
you know. And then my Devils go down, which that had to happen because my Vols had to win.
right.
But my teams are out. I mean, we're going to get into it because I mean, I've still got two teams, and the team I thought would win is still in. I don't know how long that's going to last, but I'm just saying anyway. But yeah, I got black on. But because it's hot, I want to show you something new. This is also how I've been feeling this week.
Oh,
because I don't know if do you watch Yellowstone?
I do not.
You do. You're missing out on.
I know.
life.
Everybody tells me that.
I mean, even J-Lo likes Yellowstone. Have you heard about that? She loves her some Beth Dutton. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to do this. Hang on.
Okay,
Try
you
to,
got it.
Like disconnect myself. Okay.
All right.
So does everybody see what that says?
Take them to the train station.
I can't get my spine is not straight. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you watch Yellowstone, you know what that means.
Yeah.
So that's for all my Yellowstone fans out there. And you would like Yellowstone, Dave.
I've heard that I would.
You like Kevin Costner.
I love Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I like Cole Hauser too. I mean, I remember him from like School Ties and some of those other movies when they were much younger. So they'd say you're going to take them to the bus station. Statham. I can't talk.
That's his
bus station. Or are you going to take them to the train station? Take the train.
Take the train. I've
I've
heard the show is
that
good.
means you're not on the show anymore. Is what that means.
Yeah.
At one point,
It's really hard for me to find shows now that I want to watch.
you would like this show. I'm serious. No, you would like this because you're basically rooting for the bad guy.
Oh.
I mean, they're good guys, but they're also like they do some not so good things.
Well, I love The Sopranos.
It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
But you would like this show. I promise.
Yeah, maybe I should watch it.
I promise. Yeah, no, it's really good. I mean, obviously colorful language because it's on late night. It's on Paramount.
Gosh and darn.
So that's right. A lot of that. Hello, freaking fuzzy. That's it. A lot of that.
Golly. Hey, folks, it's the Dave and Doc Podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Doc. Take him to the train station.
Take them to the train station.
Take that trash to the train station.
Episode 45.
I know, man. How about that?
45.
45.
Michael Jordan's
alive.
number when he came back because they wouldn't let him
We're in the
23.
4-5. Jay-Z put that in a rap song.
And yeah, episode 45, and you can see it and hear it and all that stuff at our website.
Michael Jordan shot 7 for 28 in his first game back. 7 for 28.
7 for 28. Really? I didn't remember.
He did not. He didn't have his basketball legs yet.
It didn't take long.
No.
It didn't take long at all.
No, that's still why he's the greatest.
That's exactly.
You see. Anyway. DaveDoc.com,
DaveDoc.com. You can see it and hear it. Appreciate all the folks on YouTube that have subscribed,
watching our mugs.
I think we're up.
Wearing the black hat.
We're just shy of 200 subscribers now on YouTube.
Awesome.
So that's
Thanks.
awesome.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. We haven't broke your cameras. We haven't broken your phones.
Nope.
Large screen projectors on in your theater rooms in Canada.
Like one of the, I was looking at like some of the analytics or whatever, and like the likes and the dislikes.
Tell me we don't have dislikes.
No, we had like 2 thumbs down on our last episode. 2. No, we had like 9. We had like 900 likes.
Can we unsubscribe them? Is that possible?
Maybe they already did. I don't know.
I'm unsubscribing you in my mind to people who gave us 2 thumbs down.
2 thumbs down.
Siskel and Ebert. That's what it was. They came from the grave. Said, 2 thumbs down. You know what?
Oh,
it's not so cool.
It's not. It's not.
I'm just saying. As long as we're getting more likes, that's all I care about.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
That's the main thing.
I bet they don't like our structured format of our show.
That's exactly what it is.
I know what it is.
It's the
I got it. I'm with you.
It's, I would like it better if you guys had a different structure. Yes.
We like it our way, and that's it.
That's right.
That's
Total.
So thanks to the loyal fans. Kiss it, 2 thumbs down. We know we really actually have tracked you, and we know where you're at. Anyway.
That's true. That's right.
Anyway,
I've got some software running.
I got you. We're gonna get it.
We're gonna find you.
We're gonna
find you.
So it is March Madness.
It is.
Awesome time of year. One of my favorite times of year.
Me too.
And so in honor of that, we're going to do some March Madness dad jokes. Okay.
All right.
I mean, these are kind of basketball in general, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. All right. So if you're ready, without further ado, here we go. Where do basketball players get their uniforms for the NCAA tournament?
Where?
New Jersey.
Speaking of the Sopranos.
Right? Why do referees carry mops during March Madness tournament basketball games?
Why?
Because there's just so much dribbling.
Oh, my God.
Why do basketball players eat donuts?
Because they're delicious.
They love to dunk them.
Oh, of course.
Yes. Why didn't the struggling NCAA basketball team have a website? This is a good mixture for you as the IT guru. Well, of course, this is obvious, right? They can't string 3 W's together.
Florida State basketball, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. Gosh, had a little bit of an off year this year.
Yes.
And then my final one. This is for all my Vol fans. Why did the Duke basketball team cry when it lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament?
Why is that?
Because they're a ball club.
Good God. Good Lord.
Go Vols. Go Vols. Actually got to see that game. We went because we were down in Orlando at the Disney. We played great defense. We just muscled them around. Of course, I had one moment where I was like kind of cheering for Duke. I was like, "Oh, get that out of your head! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?"
I'm so upset that we can't talk about the other story that happened.
Oh well, yeah, we'll that was some craziness.
That was wild.
That was that was some craziness, and we'll let that lie. But yes,
once a year we bring out the music.
Just therapeutic. Just feels so good.
Hello, friends.
That's right. Hello, friends. Welcome to March Madness.
So we were talking before the show about brackets, and my bracket is I had Xavier and Virginia in the championship, and obviously Virginia didn't get there because they got knocked out early. And Xavier is no longer in the tournament as of last night. So
Texas looking good. So
definitely.
So I have Texas winning the whole thing.
Wow.
If you watched any of that Big 12 championship game, that was kind of what did it for me. I really think that they've come together and, been through some adversity. I mean, the stuff with their former coach who got fired early in the year,
right?
Chris Beard, and just rebounding the way that they haven't. I mean, they demolished Kansas. Now, Kansas not the same. Bill Self, of course, thinking of him. I mean, had to have emergency procedure,
right?
So he is out trying to get his health right. So coaching wise, not the same. But I mean, Texas losing your head coach and then obviously, I mean, really coming together, and they blew Kansas out. And Kansas is a good ball team.
Oh yeah.
So after so I had Texas and Michigan State.
Wow.
Now I picked Michigan State because, of course, all the violence and everything that happened up there, and I kind of thought maybe they would galvanize. And you never can count Tom Izzo out. No. I still have a hard time understanding why he only has one championship.
That is really odd
because they are always there year after year, and it's got to be heartbreaking for him. But I actually picked them as my surprise. So I had Michigan State beating Duke in the Elite Eight.
Yeah,
which I was happy that my Vols won. Obviously, I mean that was crazy, but I didn't think. I mean, the way UT had been playing, and that's how I felt like we played against Florida Atlantic, where we just didn't seem to want it enough. I didn't think we would beat Duke because Duke was hot, but then I figured Michigan State would beat them. So I had Michigan State. I had Alabama. Hey, and I can't lie. After I saw San Diego State in the second round, I was like, San Diego State is a really good team.
we were talking about that earlier. Like San Diego State looks
very well coached. They got multiple people that can score. They're not terrible free throw shooters.
Watching how physical they were, they reminded me of UNLV.
They're
a little
physical. But they don't run like UNLV.
No, they don't.
Which is interesting. But yeah, no, that's a really good team. Mm-hmm. Really good team. And so I knew I was in trouble with my Alabama pick when that matchup popped up. But that's okay because I'm still super excited. And then I picked UConn because Jay Billis picked UConn.
Sure.
And then I took Texas because I was really, really impressed with what I saw with Texas. So I had Texas and UConn. So that could still theoretically happen.
Right.
And then in the East and the South, my brackets got blown up. So, but I'm excited. I mean, how cool would that be? I mean, Florida Atlantic. How cool would that be if they can beat Kansas State? I'm not sure they're going to beat Kansas State because Michigan State was playing really, really well, and Kansas State, despite having to go to overtime, Kansas State overcame all that and still won. So I'm going to be interested to see.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting. And then San Diego State.
Yeah.
And Creighton.
Yeah, and Creighton. My Lord.
I thought Princeton was going to do it, man. I was watching that last night. I was like, come on. But they ran out of gas.
They were still the lowest seed left, right?
Number 15.
Yeah.
Number 15 team. I was very happy about them putting the Zona out because I hate Arizona. Oh, my goodness. Why do I hate Arizona? Because I had a neighbor growing up that moved here from Arizona, and he was from right outside of Tucson, which is where University of U of A. They call it the U of A.
The U of A.
And he just everything in Arizona was better. Okay. And I was just like, then go back to Arizona. I mean, we became friends, and we'd play together. I mean, this was a long time when we were young, but I guess fourth grade when he moved here. And he wasn't really that bad of a dude, but he just, and I get that. I mean, you move from a spot where you really love being there, and then ultimately they move back. So they I guess things were better. We were in high school, and they moved back in the middle of high school, which was interesting.
Maybe he listens to the podcast.
He might. So yeah, Russell, if you're out there, man, go Princeton. Sorry, bro. Sorry. I never root for Arizona in anything. I will, the devil and Russia, I would root for Arizona.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just saying. That's it. So anyway, the Tigers got put out by the Blue Jays. The Jays. Anyway, from Omaha, Nebraska.
It's been an interesting tournament though. Like it's
a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's my favorite time of year, other than college football playoffs and all the things. But yeah, March Madness has always been, and what a great first time no number one seeds advanced to the Elite Eight ever
in the history of the tournament,
which is crazy.
Wow.
And that's whether it was 32 teams or 64, 68, all the restructuring. It's never happened. So I think, that the question is, did they get the seedings wrong? I think they did with Purdue. I really do. I don't think Purdue should have been a 1, but I don't know who else you would have slid in there necessarily, to be honest with you.
I mean, it was kind of turned upside down this year because your normal powerhouses that are normally in the ACC, because it means more in the ACC. Kentucky had an off year. North Carolina was terrible.
Yeah. I know.
Duke didn't have a great year.
I mean, right. Some of the blue bloods weren't quite there. Now Duke got hot. That's why I thought they would get to the Elite Eight. And like I said, and against so here's the thing. I always do 3 brackets. Okay. Okay. And I've done this for a while.
Sure.
And you know what I do in these brackets. One bracket is the real bracket, okay?
One bracket's the real.
And that's the real thing.
And one of them is Duke winning the national championship.
And one is every single year since I started doing this, which has been a long, long time ago, the Duke Blue Devils win it every single year, which of course is not possible.
Right.
But it's always a joy when they do win because I picked them.
It's kind of like the Chris Berman thing when he used to say the Bills versus the 49ers in the Super Bowl every year. And he was right about one of those teams like for a decade.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty decent money.
Yeah.
And I have obviously, the in 2015 when they had the freshmen, like I thought they could do it that year, and so I really felt confident. 91, that was the first time. Of course, I had them winning it that year, and of course they upset UNLV and win it, and so that was 92. I totally picked them to win it because I was like they're going to repeat. This is going to be awesome. So. 2001 was pretty cool because that was when they had to come back. They were down almost 30 to Maryland and came back in the second half and won. And then of course 2010 was when had Gordon Hayward hit that half court buzzer beater that clanged off the back of the iron. They would have upset Duke with Kyle Singler and John Shire as play, and Nolan Smith as the players on that team. I love me some Duke.
Look at you.
And now John Shire's the coach. But so Duke gets hot. They win the ACC tournament,
yeah,
which is not easy to do. I mean, ACC not as good this year. They weren't.
Right.
They weren't. I mean, even Syracuse was down.
Right.
I mean, now you still got Miami. Miami's really good. Regular season champs. They're hot. I don't know what that's going to look like. That's going to be a tough matchup there.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll see what happens.
Well, on both genders too, because the
women's team got hot too.
The women's team
you just like them because of the Cavender twins, don't you?
Good Lord.
I'm
just telling you.
I knew that was coming.
Whew. But here's the thing, right? I mean, they're super popular on social media and everything.
Right.
They're gorgeous,
right?
But they're legit basketball players.
Oh yeah,
too.
I think it was Haley. Haley was second team All ACC or something like that. Yeah. So they can ball.
And I mean, and people like showing up and watching those games because.
Right. Oh yeah, no. They're making tons of money through NIL. That's why they went to Miami.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a total marketing scheme. They can have another year if they want.
Sure.
Because of the COVID year, anyway. But yeah, lots of fun. Lots of upsets. I mean, Fairleigh Dickinson. Tobin Anderson now moving on. It's pretty going to Iona.
Yeah,
taking Rick Pitino's place.
I'm correcting myself here because I did say the ACC, which is normally.
I knew what you meant,
but I threw Kentucky in there because Kentucky's a perennial powerhouse.
I knew what you meant,
and I know they're from that other effing conference.
That just means more.
That just means more. There's no reason for. I don't understand why these other conferences even exist.
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking.
They should just stop all sports in everything except for the SEC because, for God's sakes, man, it just means more.
Yeah. What's really sad is how many SEC teams are left?
None.
That's correct.
Yes.
It wasn't a trick question. I promise.
Well, I thought it was a trick. And I'm thinking, there is none left.
No, there are none left. I mean, you got Gonzaga, who's been strong forever. Mm-hmm. They're playing UConn. You got Texas matching up against Miami.
And that's a weird.
Miami might get them. Miami might get them. I've got Texas coming through, and I got UConn coming through. But never count out Gonzaga. I mean, they've been there so many times.
Or UConn.
Yeah. Like I said, when Billis was talking about it, he said this was before the game started, and that is why I picked UConn, because Billis was like, I'm telling you, I know that they lost to Marquette by 2 in the semifinals of the Big East tournament.
Right.
But this is a really, really good team, and they're playing really, really good ball. And of course, Marquette got put out by Michigan State,
right?
Which I picked that, obviously. It's going to be interesting. San Diego State, Creighton. I think San Diego State taking that.
I actually think San Diego State's going to win the whole thing.
I think it could be possible after the way that they played. They'd have to have a really off night, but it could totally happen. I think it would be cool if you got. San Diego State, Florida Atlantic, and then I can't stand Miami, so I'm still going with Texas. But,
I hate Miami too.
But it would be awesome, San Diego State or Florida Atlantic, and either one of them winning it, I think would be awesome.
Except for the women's team, I don't like Miami. I'm all in on the.
Do you like the team or do you like the aspects of the team?
Yes.
The assets of the team?
Yes.
Okay. I understand that. I can get with that. I understand. My boy likes blondes too, because we went to the Diaz and the blonde princesses were obviously his favorite, my little 8-month-old, and they were eating him up. So anyway, but A lot of heartbreaks, a lot of rough times, a lot of crazy stuff. Women's game, man, people getting nasty with it. I mean, that confrontation after the Louisville game, where they were getting after each other. The women's NIT, I don't know if you saw that or not.
No, I didn't see that.
So it was Memphis and who was the other team? I'm getting older. Anyway, girl from Memphis punches one of the women's players, like knocks her on the ground in the handshake line after the game.
That happened.
Bowling Green. It was Bowling Green.
That happened also in a high school game this year too.
Yes, there's all kinds of bad stuff.
And I mean, like the mom was like speaking out, like you can't hit my daughter, like that's not okay. And they were like trying to, like the school was trying to play it off like, well, it was a competitive thing. It's like, no, she punched my kid
over a basketball game.
Over a basketball game,
right?
And nobody should be punching anybody unless it's the Niners and Cowboys. That is the only time.
It's the only time that violence is condoned. If
the Cowboys should be punched in the face.
That's it.
They did they release Ezekiel Elliott?
They did.
Good.
You know, he's there. He's looking, I think, at the Jets. Maybe the Ravens and
I
somebody
think he
else.
might be looking at the unemployment line. I don't know that there's a lot of value there.
Well, my goodness. I mean, they wore him out. We're transitioning to football because that's what we do. Anyway, go Longhorns, I guess, because I picked you.
I'm taking San Diego State.
But I would love to see San Diego State win the whole.
At this point, it's going to be fun no matter what.
No, it's awesome.
Of all the teams.
Right. And it's nice, too, because none of those coaches have ever won a title.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a long time. I mean, UConn has 4 titles, but it's been a minute since they've been in there.
Yeah.
So I guess they're kind of the, in terms of I mean, of course, Gonzaga's there, but Gonzaga's never won. So,
right.
So do you root for Gonzaga because Mark Few's never got? They've been there.
They've gotten close.
I mean, been in the title game and not won. Or do you go for? I'm going for San Diego State.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. I'm going for it. I wouldn't be upset if Creighton won. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think Doug McDermott is an excellent coach.
I do too.
You know, he is also the testament to, he made some comments, in kind of trying to motivate his players, talking about some I guess you'd say slavery-based things, and he did not mean it. But what I really liked was he owned it. He apologized for it. His team embraced him and said it wasn't he. Instead of taking, too many times people just jump on it. And they just want to put you down. They said that's not who our coach is. He didn't mean it that way. He owns it that he shouldn't have said it, and they've galvanized, and they're a really good team. So I appreciate that about the players because players say, no, we know our coach. We're not stupid. We know the coach. And he didn't mean it that way. He sure as heck shouldn't have said it.
Sure.
But I think that's pretty cool.
But I mean, you can't. There's nothing you can say now.
Well, that's true.
That's not controversial.
That's true too.
As much as I hate the New England Patriots, to a level that's. I probably need to see a therapist. And Tom Brady and anything that has anything to do with Robert Kraft outside of the cheese. Robert, that's some great cheese. I appreciate the cheese. That little Mexican blend we use with our tacos when we do the homemade stuff.
Goodness.
That's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
But the rest of that is just, he's a jackass. The whole team sucks. I hate him. I wish.
So you're not going to buy him a massage is what you're saying?
No, he's good at those. And I'm sure they're very relaxing. I'm sure it's, he's probably watching Miami basketball while he's having a massage.
Would you? Oh,
stop. But Bill Belichick in press conferences and interviews,
I know
he won't say anything.
I know,
and that's probably why, because you're just afraid to say. And I mean, I coach football and I talk to parents, and I have to be. You just have to be careful what you say.
No, it's true.
I'm not one of those.
It's a whole nother level.
And I'm not one of those people, as you know, that has a great filter because I'd rather be funny than anything else.
Or just sometimes it's like, no, we really have to have an honest conversation about this. That's the other thing.
Right.
Is like, no, this is not. I'm not degrading you. I'm just saying this is what has happened, and this is the scenario in which it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not how the world sees it.
It just seems to be in this country. Like other countries seem to have figured their shit out.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
And at times it's like and I know we're still kind of young, right? A couple hundred years old. I mean, we're
1776. Of course, people claim bad stuff about that. I mean, Francis Scott Key writing the national anthem, and people are saying, it's crazy.
I know.
It's crazy.
Everything's everything. I don't know. And I mean, for the people who live in this country, it's like I haven't lived in other countries. I've only lived in this one.
I'm good to not from
right. It's like go live somewhere else. I mean, go live in northern Russia.
Yeah, let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah.
Right? Put you in a prison for having an ingrown toenail. I mean, that's not good. No. Not good. Not good.
Go drink some water in Hiroshima or Nagasaki.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. There's no, and Shane, we're gonna get.
Uh-oh.
So
is my non-filter rubbing off on you?
Here's the thing. Need to feel very fortunate too, because there are not many nations in this world that would turn over high valued prisoners to get somebody back.
Sure.
Who did have a substance that is not permitted in that country, and it is not this, and trade it. I'm just saying. So listen, I mean, we are very fortunate that we live in a place where people. And again, I don't know. While the other person who's been there for a long time got left behind, and I'm like, I just don't think
the outrage. Outrage with that whole thing blew me away. It's like she committed a crime,
right? It's like you realize she knew that because she's been there. That's where she's been playing. Brittany Griner's obviously who we're talking about.
Right.
Again, this is nothing against Brittany Griner personally, but you broke the law, you got in trouble, and then our nation came to rescue you.
Yeah,
and people were mad because we weren't doing enough. You weren't getting it done fast enough. And it's like you realize most other nations have been like, sorry.
You're right.
You play basketball, and
you broke the law.
You broke the law. Sorry, that's tough. That's tough. But that's
the outrage over that just blew me away.
I know. We need to get off that because I'm getting anyway.
Oh, I know. No, I can go because I mean
it's crazy.
You're not going to hear a lot of positive things from me about our president currently. You're just not. But the outrage that he wasn't doing more with that, I'm like, really?
Right.
What does he need to do?
Right.
She broke a law.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, no.
I mean, if he wants to pick up the phone and call their prime minister or whatever and say, "Hey, man, could you cut her a break?"
What the heck is going on here? Right. Now, of course, what they did was, I mean, the sentencing was completely unreasonable. I mean, all that mess was just, I mean, that was all political garbage.
Of course.
I mean, something like that happens here, and it's like, okay, that's not enough. Where you're trying, we know you're not trying to sell it. You get you do your whatever, and it all gets expunged, and that's reasonable if that's like your first offense and you're not trying to traffic heavy drugs.
Sure.
But you're going to be in prison for the rest of your life. What? Shut up.
I know.
mean, that's stupid. So so that part of it. Anyway, so it is what it is. But
where do they cane people at? Is that Singapore? Is that?
I
think it's where they like get the.
That's probably yeah.
I think it's Singapore.
I believe they probably do it other places.
I'm sure
we
they
just
do.
Don't hear about it.
I mean,
there's no telling what goes on. Again, there's no telling.
Right.
Of course, I mean, don't drop the soap in the United States.
That's right.
Your stocking will be stuffed whether it's Christmas or not. Just saying.
Happy holiday.
That's right. Happy holidays.
Oh. So we took
moving on.
So we
moving on.
Yeah. So we took a couple weeks off.
We did
a little spring break for us.
We did.
The doc went to Disney.
We went to the Disney.
And so I wanted to ask about your experiences at Disney because we've talked about a few of those. Here, what's funny is you tried to go on these vacations and these trips because you have kids, right? And you want to have memories for the kids,
experience it, and it's
but there's a part of these trips, no matter where you go and how long you stay, even if it's a day trip, there's just parts of it that's just miserable as a parent. I mean, it's just the truth. I mean,
I liken it to or compare it to. When your team is winning in the NCAA tournament and the other team makes a run at you. And it's, can you survive the run, or are they going to overtake you and win the game? And there's this significant amount of angst while the run is happening.
That's true.
At you. And it's like, can we survive it, or are we going to be taken over and then it will break our spirit and we will be taken down?
Yeah.
And yes, that definitely happened on the vacation. So yeah, I love Disney World. Mm-hmm. And I love it. There's political things, there's money, there's lots of things out there that I try not to, I try not to let that influence me, because that could be a little disheartening, I guess, at times, because like that, but because that stuff doesn't matter. It's like that we're going to have fun, it's the magic of the play. Anyway, so there's a lot of political stuff, turmoil, things going on. So, but kind of blocking that out. So love to go. And we've taken the girls before, and of course got to take Bennett this time. And I mean, honest to goodness, he was the most resilient of everybody. 8-month-old sleep deprived all week, and he's just happy all week. He just happy. Sometimes he need to be held, but he had a big time.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. He feels fantastic. Anyway, so, we get there, first day, and I had booked a park day because and we had a lunch at the Beast's Castle, which I don't know if you've ever dined at the Beast's Castle.
Beast Castle.
But it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And they give you the gray stuff to eat and all the things, you know. The girls get to make a whatever cupcakey type thing, and so they enjoy that. Food's pretty good. I mean, it's a steak, and you get some green beans, haricot vert, Anyway, and so we had a great time. So we blew it out the first day. Basically, I mean, we rode a ton of rides, had a lot of fun, ate at the Beast Castle. The next day is Sunday. Okay, we're going to the Hollywood Studios. Yeah. The Hollywood. We know nobody reminded me that the time was going to change. So the time changes in the middle of the night, of course, because we're springing forward. Right, so we wake up and I'm like, man, is it really 8:30 or whatever it was? I was like, man, it doesn't feel like it.
We do have audio from Shane when he woke up and realized that he had lost an hour. Here it is. Oh shit! That was it. That was okay. That was direct audio.
And forevermore, every show will have that worked in, because that's just what
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious, and that's what we need to do. So we go to the Hollywood.
Did everybody oversleep?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, but everybody's tired.
Of course,
everybody's tired. Well, and the girls, you could put them to bed, Dave. You put them to bed at 7:05.
Yeah.
Them honeys is up at 7:06. Good morning, Daddy.
Oh, Lord.
It doesn't matter. They are up at the same time.
Wow.
Every now and then Kate will really sleep in.
Pax is a 6:30 a.m. or
I mean it is here it comes, and sometimes it's earlier. So what we weren't necessarily it was just off, of course, and Laura has goals.
Yeah.
Laura has goals.
Here's our list for the day.
She has goals. No, there's no list, because that would be too organized. No, what we have is because she is kind of she's good on the fly.
These comments brought to you by Doc.
That's right. Farm Bureau, all your insurance needs. Bo Blanken. Yes. Helping out with Sunday school tomorrow, Bo. I'm just letting you know. Our children's church, sorry. Anyway, yeah, coming in hot. So
there's an agenda.
So we have a map, and she starts writing all these things on. So it's kind of quasi together, but it's not. it's like curl not quite right. It's like anyway. So we get in there, we trying to get in there, we get delayed because they're having to go through the bag because one of the bags set off the metal detector. The girls are not wanting to be in the stroller. Laura's already mad because we're getting behind. We drove our van to the park, which actually was a great idea.
Yeah.
Because, the bus system, us in a confined space with 2 strollers, which we did for part of the week. And then we're like, you know what, just forget it. We're going to have 1 stroller. And we'll just make it work, that actually worked better. But 2 strollers on a bus, with a double stroller that doesn't fold down very well to begin with anyway, because it's not ours because we rent it. I was like, this is a bad idea, so we took our own. Anyway, so everybody's tired. It's not going great getting into the park just because and it's nothing bad, like nothing bad is happening. But then everybody's got to go to the bathroom,
Of course.
so then we're trying to go to the bathroom, and it is already brutally hot. It's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
10 o'clock, and it's super duper hot, okay? So then we can't get anything through the Genie, the Disney Genie, trying to book rides and whatnot, because everything's booked up, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Nobody wants to ride Slinky Dog with me,
That's a travesty.
The last 3 times we've been, guess how many times I have had the opportunity to ride Slinky Dog?
How many?
0.
Oh, no.
Callan rode it with Mommy because she would ride it with Mommy. Kate's not tall enough, but yeah, 0.
I'm sorry.
I love Slinky Dog.
I'm sorry you didn't get to ride
I mean, isn't that some bull crap? I mean, so anyway, this time I didn't even get to ride the Tower of Terror because oh my goodness, it was a disaster from the beginning. So,
was Disney just packed? I mean, was it just
that day? It seemed really packed,
Yeah.
and it was nasty hot. It was nasty. And we did Toy Story Land, which my girls love that. That's the Woody one where you're pulling the cannon. Had a good time with that. The Alien Flying Saucer ride, they love that one.
Mm-hmm.
We got to do that. We get on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is before we have lunch. Okay,
Right.
got lunch scheduled. Lunch was good. We had a good lunch. It's back to the buffet, so I got to eat some good stuff and have the soft serve ice cream, which was delicious.
Yeah.
And the characters come up to you, and the girls and Bennett can touch them, and they'll put their autograph down, so it's back to normal. I know people who are really worried. Anyway, so we get on the Mickey and
Were the twins there from Miami?
no, that probably would have improved the mood a little bit until Laura would have seen me looking.
Yes.
And would have been like, you're in the doghouse for the rest of your life.
I'd like to have their autograph.
Even though you're right. Are you one of the characters here? Are you a cast member? Anyway. So we're on the Runaway Railway, which I think is fun. I like that ride. I do. I enjoy that. It's got a little bit of classic. It's got a little bit of new, blah, blah. The thing stopped. And I'm talking like, sometimes the ride has to pause.
Sure.
Because, somebody's trying to get on or get off, and maybe they need a little extra assistance, and so never have a problem with any of that. I'm always like, I get it because stuff happens, or somebody almost gets hurt or something happens, so
right.
So no problem. Oh, no, the ride quit. And we're only about, I would say, not 50% done with the ride. Okay. Do you know what they do when the ride quits? Do you know what they do?
No, I don't know what they do.
They have to evacuate you, Dave.
Ah.
So they have this special thing that releases the lap band, whatever the
bar.
The bar. So I can think of bar. God, the bar, and they get you out of your vehicle, and you have to walk through the ride. Well, we were part of the first number of carts where they had to undo the lap bar.
Right.
So we get to walk through half of this ride.
Right.
While they keep undoing the other cars to let people out.
Now you're walking behind, right?
Yes, we're walking with them. Then the whole time it's going, please, we recommend no videoing and no pictures while we are trying to assist our whatever.
Screw that. I would have videoed the whole thing.
So some dude back there goes, yeah, they don't want you to see your broke ass ride. I was dying, laughing. So we evacuate, okay? So now I'm worried because I'm like, we're going to be late for lunch. You know, because we talking about lunch.
Right.
We talking about. Have you ever seen that video? It's
Yes.
the best thing ever.
Yes,
I love
I've
that.
seen it.
What time is it? It's time for lunch. What time is it? It's time for lunch. Anyway, and Callan's getting the. Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry. That's where my life is. Anyway, so we make it for the lunch, have a good lunch. It's all good. Everything good. You know, we don't have a pen for the characters to sign the stuff, but of course Disney is there.
Of course.
You don't get to keep the pen because they very quietly approach you after the fact and take the pen away so that others may. Anyway, but that all worked out great. So then we get a free ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And
they're telling us this,
by free ride, you mean you get to go.
You get the lightning lane. You get to immediately get on the ride.
Right.
Like it's yes.
Right.
There's basically no waiting.
Right.
I mean, a couple minutes, you know, but yeah, you get a free lightning lane pass without having to sign up for it. Blah blah.
Right.
Except they say you have a ride anywhere in the park except for Rise of the Resistance. Millennium Falcon, whatever the actual Smuggler's Run, whatever it is, Smuggler's Run, Smuggler's Run, Slinky Dog, Tower of Terror. Aerosmith wasn't open; they're refurbishing it. Tower of Terror and something else. I'm like, so basically, all the fun rides you can't do it. Because I was like, oh, here it comes. I'm getting on Slinky Dog. Here it comes. Right. And of course, oh, you cannot use it for Slinky Dog. And I was like, so it's not for any ride in the park. They say any ride in the park. And then it's like the disclaimer, you know. I'm like, but you eliminated all the fun rides. Anyway, so we go ride the Alien Flying Saucer ride again because my girls love it. And,
right.
And that's fine. And I like it too. It's fun. It's a fun ride. So we get up there to try to scan our magic bands to get in there. And there is a confrontation going on.
Uh-oh.
There are 3 women.
But it's the Magic Kingdom. Everybody's happy.
No, this was Hollywood Studios. So you know, everybody in Hollywood's going to Hades. So, you know.
That's very true.
So that's kind of what it's like. Devil is up in here. Yes. 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 The devil was up in. So they are wearing out these 2 cast members that are the people working the front part of the ride,
right,
where you either magic band in or you go through the stand.
Were they special characters or just
no?
Oh, just
they're just regular cast members.
Okay,
they're regular cast members.
They're extras.
Right, that's it. So they're just doing their thing, and they are wearing them out because they will not let them board the ride. They're trying to go through the lightning lane.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's not going good. And I mean, and these people are like posturing, and I mean, and so they have called security.
Oh Lord!
And so interestingly, what I found interesting, and of course, you know where this goes. This now devolves, and so one of the cast members was not Caucasian. Okay, that's what I'm going to say.
Okay. So
then it devolves into there's something race based to the fact that they can't get on the ride and use the lightning lane. Now, here's the interesting part. They don't have magic bands. Which is okay, because the other thing that they do, Disney gives you those keepsake cards that have the magnetic barcode to them.
Right.
And you can, because we saw people that had those, you can carry those around in place of a magic band if you don't have a band.
Right.
And you can scan that at the little station, and it will light up green and allow you to board the ride.
Right.
They don't have that either. And so in my mind, I'm going, so
how did you get to into the park?
How did we swing this? And so maybe they don't give you anything if you enter, but I thought you had to have something, because even if you buy a ticket, you still have to scan something to go through the line carousel. You know, they have to show that you have a valid admission.
Right.
Well, the only way to do that is they have to give you something to enter.
Sure.
So I'm like, so that's it. And I was like, so that's very interesting. So then my cynical mind goes to, well, did you just hear about the ride breaking down and you're like trying to,
right.
But I mean, they are mad. And I'm like, oh my. And so, you know, I weaved between them with my girls, basically with my hands around my girls, saying it's okay, because I mean my girls have never seen somebody get like that,
right?
And I'm like, it's over a ride,
right?
I mean, Boogie, come on,
I know,
come on. Anyway, so we
it's
go
life or death.
So we go between them, and they're still getting all fired up. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So that was a little stressful. So we went home after that, went to the pool. We went back to the hotel.
Yeah.
So then the next day, this is very long way. So the next day was Magic Kingdom again. First day was Magic Kingdom. Awesome. So it rained. It stormed at times. We went to Santa Rosa Royal Table. My man likes the blondes. My little 8-month-old, he's a fan of the blondes. Yeah, Aurora, Sleeping Beauty was his favorite. Anyway, had all good time. After that, it just kind of went down here. Everybody was tired of it, so we weren't getting the list done. The goals were not being achieved. Laura was not happy. The girls were not happy. I was not happy. I was like, they're making a run at us. We were up by about 12 points.
Then they start hitting threes.
And they're raining threes, Dave. They're raining threes, and nobody's calling flagrant fouls. And I'm going, oh, we're about to get physical. Here it comes. Yeah. Everybody was so worn out. They delayed the parade, the Festival of Fantasy, because of the rain. So we were like, that's it. We're getting out of here. So we had 2 strollers. So that we were right there near Main Street. Well, the strollers were still up at Santa Rosa Royal Table because for some reason we're like, well, we'll just leave it up there. We'll come down, watch the parade, and we'll come back up. Well, they delay the parade. So we're like, okay. And I was like, all right, y'all just go on for the gate. I'll go get the strollers.
Right.
2 strollers.
Yeah.
One dock. I'll say that again. 2 strollers. One's a double wide. Okay.
Yeah.
1 dock.
So it's like 3 strollers.
Yay.
Essentially. That had to be fun.
With 7 million artifacts attached to it. You know, the popcorn, the water bottle with the hot water in it to pour into the cup so we can warm a bottle for Bennett, the bottles for Bennett, the breast milk that's thawing because, we had to bring some frozen.
Right.
The snacks for the girls, the magic wands that we had, the Buzz Lightyear and the Little Mermaid because we don't want the same one and we have to have them and we need more bubbles. Blah, blah.
Of course.
The 3 swords from Santa Rosa Royal Table and the magic wand.
Right.
The popcorn, the cover, because it was raining, so the 2 plastic covers for the strollers. The fact that the one stroller doesn't really fold up well. Our stroller, which has a fabric top to it, it's kind of water resistant. But anyway, so I go down the hill behind Santa Rosa Royal Castle like this. That was a bad decision. So after doing that and surviving it, despite the fact that these people in those little electronic vehicles cannot drive worth a darn.
Right.
I mean, I am like perfectly up against my side, and the dude clips the back part of our stroller. I'm like, hit the double wide, don't hit mine. That was fantastic. So I get down to the bottom, and I'm like, forget this. So I do some reorganizing, and of course, here comes another shower.
Oh no!
Oh, the ponchos! I forgot the ponchos. We have all these ponchos that I bought at the Dollar General because we didn't have our other ones anyway. I folded our stroller and stuck it on top of the double wide.
There you go.
Because I'm like, this is insanity. I'm not doing this all the way through the park.
Right.
I wish you could have seen the looks that I received.
Oh, I'm sure.
By people, and I'm like, don't you be hating on some specialized engineering.
It's like
engineering that I put on this here.
Right.
I mean, now I can't let go of the thing or it just falls over in because there's so much weight on it. And I'm going down Main Street like this.
Oh Lord.
And we run up against someone a little bit larger than me with a fanny pack.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to go over because I'm in the middle of the street trying to navigate back and forth because on the sidewalks you can't get there because everybody's packed it in because they think the parade's coming. Well, they're still letting people down the middle. And so the stroller that's folded, totally just, it kind of sideswipes a large booty, okay?
Right.
And I'm very sorry about this,
You clipped a booty.
But I mean, you
clipped a booty.
When it's like... I mean...
When your booty's the size of an oak tree.
I mean... It was, right.
When
it's like, good thing Splash Mountain's down today because we would have lost all the water. Which it was down. Splash Mountain was down too. Anyway,
I'm sorry, sir. You're going to get stuck.
Yes, that's it, right? So that was and the look that I got, and I was like, I was apologizing as soon as it happened because I knew it was going to happen because I was like, I'm trying, but I only have so much room before I ran out of room, and people were just crowding in, and I was like, it's going to happen.
Pop.
Milkshake bring all the boys to the yard because their life is better than yours. Anyway. So that was fantastic. So then I'm getting a bad look on that, and I'm like, I'm sorry. So we finally get there. We get out of there.
I'm sorry about your ass.
That's right. That's right. I'm sure it didn't really hurt it that much.
I'm sorry for your ass.
Right.
And I'm sorry about your
ass. Right. It's like, and of course, we're probably not carrying the healthiest of foods down Main Street either, and I'm just, it was bad. It was bad. And I really did feel bad. Anyway, so Monday was kind of bad. Tuesday was the best day at Epcot. We ate our way all the way through Epcot, rode the rides, everything good. Guardians of the Galaxy is awesome. I'm fast forwarding a little bit. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Burn, baby, burn, disco inferno. Or Flock of Seagulls, I ran so far away. So they play different songs anyway, and the roller coaster rotates. The car rotates while you're going down the track.
You were telling me about this is awesome.
It's pretty awesome. Yes, so
that's
awesome.
cool.
So it's awesome. So anyway, so that was good. We ended up not going to the beach because it was so cold. So we transferred to Animal Kingdom. From the resort. So we resort hopped. Went to Disney Springs on Wednesday. Never go to Disney Springs.
No.
It's like trying to get into the Super Bowl. And I've been to the Super Bowl, the metal detectors, all the things, they make you park in this garage where you cannot see in and out of the thing, the way they've got it set up. It's like something out of the Matrix, like a cube. And I'm like, are we about to be assembled by somebody, or Neo's going to show up, or the Borg is going to show up? What's going on?
That's right.
It was a mess. It was a straight up, we did eat at the T-Rex.
Yeah.
My oldest one didn't really care that much. Kate thought it was cool until they did, and then she thought it was scary, and Bennett loved it anyway. The food was not good. And so then Thursday, we took a day off, went to the pool, had a good time. It was fine. Until Bennett had a massive blowout, not in the pool, thank God.
Oh.
But and then Friday we went back to Epcot, and it was another pretty good day. But why my girls love Epcot? Because there's this really awesome playground there.
Oh.
Not any of the other stuff. So anyway,
it's so funny when you go to
and then we went to the ball game on Saturday.
Yes,
which was awesome.
What was it?
Basically, was it? The game was awesome. That's all I'll say.
We can't. Yeah, we under a court order, we're not allowed to talk about the game. Maybe we can at some point, but
it'll be okay. It'll be okay. But that was it. So that was way too much time on the Diaz. But we got some good stories. I know we need to embellish that a little bit.
Well, no,
and now yes.
But I mean, you're thinking like vacations, and you're thinking like I know that we went with some friends of ours to the beach. This was several years ago.
Did you eat Captain George's?
We didn't. I don't think
Captain George wasn't there.
I don't think we ate at Captain George's.
That's a disappointment.
We ate somewhere.
I still want to go somewhere and eat at a Captain George's because I've never done it.
Oh, it's amazing. But the thing that was, so we got this condo for like 7 days, right?
Yes.
This big, this nice condo.
Yes.
Spent a ton of money on this.
Yes.
And we spent about 85% of our time at the pool. And I'm like, the flipping Atlantic Ocean
is right there.
Right there.
Right. And it wasn't like you went in the super cold time of year.
No.
You could actually get in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like we went to the beach a couple times. We bought like this kind of a tent like thing, to sit under and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to set all this stuff up.
Oh, yeah. That's the fun. Oh, yeah.
And it's like this was absolutely miserable. This is why I don't like vacation.
So if you think my strollers had some stuff going, you should see us going to the beach.
Oh, I can imagine. I
love my wife. She really is a good human. She really is.
She is. She's a great human.
But, I mean, all the things. All the things.
All the things.
All the things.
We have to have all the things all the time.
And yes. And each and every day, somebody has to organize that. And that is not she gets it together to go. But once we were there, all bets are off.
This is probably why I just don't do vacations anymore. I mean, it's the truth. And like, I don't, and people think I'm weird, but like Lindsay will go with like family and they'll go to the beach and my ass stays here. I'm like, I don't want any part of this. It's
See, now the beach I really love. I mean, I love Disney World. Like we had some off days, and I think part of that too is, we have an 8-month-old.
Sure.
You have to have realistic expectations.
Sure.
But I mean, I love the pool day. I mean, we were in the pool having fun. I mean, so it was like Callan went down the big water slide. I mean, that was a big deal for her. And she did it like 50 times and loved it.
Yeah.
And you come out in water, of course, Callan can swim. She's a good swimmer. You come out in water where her feet aren't touching. So I thought that was big too, because she lands in the water and she has to swim to get out of where it's at. Couldn't get Kate to go down. I tried to bribe her. No. I'm not. I'm like, I'm not. That's it. Anyway, Bennett loved the water too. He had a little life jacket on him and stuff. And he kicking.
Yeah, Pax loves it too. But I just
don't. The beach I love though. I really do. Minus, I mean, the all the stuff. Here's the thing: if we didn't have it, then somebody'd be needing it. Or wanting it, not needing it, because you don't need other than some cover so you don't get burnt. Because that was the other thing. My woman let me get burnt at the Tuesday Epcot experience, and she's like, "You're a grown man. You can put your sunscreen on." I was like, "Well, number one, I didn't know where it was at, and number two, I'm Irish. It doesn't take. I mean, I was burnt."
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about a neck? I mean, you can't really see it now. So when I came back to work, I was like, "Oh, you got some tan." I was like, "Yeah, right around the neck and my head where it's trying not to peel."
Melanoma.
Right. I know. I'm like, great. I'm like, my ear feels rough now. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm.
I just don't like vacations. I just don't. My idea of a vacation, and I know I'm just turned into an old, crotchety old man, but like, I just want to sit in a recliner for a week.
One of my favorite things is just having a little bit of downtime. But it's hard too with younger kids.
It's really hard.
And I think, and again, it's a blessing because Laura can, when Laura gets it going, I mean, Laura can get a lot of stuff done. She does. She comes from a family. I mean, the part of the measure of their days, parts of the measure of their days are how much stuff did you get done in a given day.
Right.
The thing is, though, the people that have the best time, they did the things that they wanted to do, not necessarily everything that they thought needed to be done. And my sister does a good job of that.
You're 100% right there, because I remember going on trips when I was younger, like with just some buddies with no agenda.
Yes.
It's like step one, get to where we're going. Yep. Step two, do something. I mean, that was like there was no, it's like, okay, we're going to go there on this day and we're going to come back on this day. What are you going to do when you're down there? I don't know.
Step one, open the box. Step two, put your hand in the box. No.
That's how you do it.
Anyway, right. No. And I mean, and that's it's true. I mean, so, I would call it overall, it was tiring, but I would call it a success because we did have more good days than bad days. But it was those runs of when things weren't going well.
You would rate it like a B+.
I give it B+. Oh, yeah. I mean, we ate at Ohana for breakfast on the last day before we that was when we were switching. I guess that was when we were switching resorts actually to Animal Kingdom, which I really liked Animal Kingdom. And we had a giraffe, not 20 feet, but probably 30 feet away, eating out of a tree, and the zebra right there, and these different. Cool. We got to see the giraffe that was on whatever show, Gemma or whoever that was like herd or whatever. We got to see that one. They did like a marshmallow roast at Animal Kingdom, and they were showing like that, and that's the giraffe that was on the whatever that show is. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but I'd probably give it a B+. But eating at Ohana was actually one of my favorite things because Stitch is there, and Stitch is funny and crazy, of course, and you get to see Mickey Mouse and all that. So that, and Pluto. So that was good. And the meal was really good too. And that was a breakfast. I love breakfast.
Robin Williams.
And the waiter was hilarious because he's like, I bring you the juice and I put the lid on it because you don't trust them. and I don't trust them. And he was Art was his name. He was awesome. And you know what happened? Callan still spilled her juice.
Of course.
And he was like, and I was like down trying to put up at it. Sir, you do not have to do that. Happens all the time. And I'm like, that means the carpet underneath is where the pad's at. It's nasty.
You know it is.
Nasty.
You know it is.
But it's a perfect color, so you can't tell what in the world's happening. Like, Disney is so smart. Yes. Anyway.
Robin Williams talked about taking his at the time youngest kid to Disney, to Disneyland,
Yes.
out in California,
Yes.
and he said his kid's name was Zebulon or something like that.
Stop it.
No, I'm not. I mean, it was a weird name. I'm probably getting this wrong.
Why do they do that?
I don't know, but he said his kid's like 3 years old, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to take him and let him meet Mickey Mouse. He's like 3-year-old. He's going to meet Mickey Mouse. He's going to be excited. He says he takes one look at him and screams. He said because Mickey Mouse to a 3-year-old is a 6-foot effing rat.
Right. That's it.
And every time I see Mickey from that moment on,
That is what you think
I
of.
always
Yes.
think of Robin Williams.
Yes. And it's true. It's true. You know, and that's part of why we try to take them younger to of course Callan's never really been afraid. Kate gets a little bit, but
Yeah.
but like Kate had the Stitch magic band. So like she
Right.
she showed him, and it was, you know, part of that's to desensitize him a little bit too.
Sure.
Now here's the other thing. You can't go to Disney all the time. You don't know why. Well, you can, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's not cheap to go to
It's
Disney
not
World.
cheap.
And it doesn't matter. I was like, man, it wouldn't matter where we were at. They know how to get your money, and they are going to get it. Which is another thing that, you know, that kind of gets them in some hot water, because it's like, you know, you guys, you're continuing to find ways to increase your revenue stream when people are already spending a lot of money anyway.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. made $300 million just on the Iron Man movies alone.
Correct.
They got to get that money somehow
That's correct.
because they got to pay him.
That's
so
correct.
yeah,
correct.
you're going to drop a lot of money
That's correct. Yes, and it's guaranteed. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
once they get you. They get you.
They do. But I would give it a B plus. I think it's a. If 87 to 89 is a B plus, I'd give it 87.5.
Well, that's pretty good.
So, no, it was good. It was
pretty good.
I really wanted to go to the beach because that was the other thing. See, so we had all the beach stuff plus the Disney stuff, and we used zero of the beach stuff, which means, you know, we're driving and you think we're moving or we're living out of our van.
Right.
I mean, I had to fasten the seatbelt in the front seat because there's stuff piled in the front seat of the van. And we have a luggage rack, which, by the way,
Yes, this is great. How is the luggage rack?
it's got a little bit of scrape on the top of it.
Right.
So, you know, when I can't believe I forgot to mention. So when we get to the game, I had prepaid for a parking pass because they were like, parking's going to be a nightmare because it's in the middle of Orlando,
Right.
at the Amway Center. Well, Geico Garage was completely sold out, so it's literally right across the street, so you ain't getting in.
Right.
So I bought literally just, you know, probably about 600 feet away.
Yeah.
You know, in this HD supply garage. Okay, so we pull up, and they're like, "No, boss," and I'm like, "It's 7 feet." And literally with our luggage rack, it's like 7 feet
On the nose.
like on the nose. I'm like, I think we should be okay. And they're like, no, because I guess where the garage is settled, it's not all 7 feet.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. Which I was thinking though, but you know, some of those like the Tahoes, the Yukons, I mean, aren't those a little bit sometimes taller than that? Aren't they, you know, potentially or no?
Maybe.
Because I was like, so what would you do with a traditional vehicle? And they're like, you're going to have to go park somewhere else. I'm like, you don't understand. We're running late already. Because the address I typed in was the wrong address to get to the parking garage. So we lost the 20 minutes of buffer time that I had planned for this.
and now you're arguing over the dimensions.
And they were super nice. They really were. They called the supervisor of the garage. He comes and he's looking, and he's just super laid back dude. And I'm like, uh-oh. He goes, I'll let him try it. He's like, it'll be okay. He's like, you're not going to get stuck.
Right.
He goes, you know, the only thing we would be worried about is if you were going to get stuck. He's like, you're not. He's like, now, you might hit a low spot. Well, they're all low spots. so well, the first floor, we didn't scrape at all, but there was no parking.
Yeah.
Because I was like, Lord, you, this is the luckiest thing. Actually, it's not luck, but we had to go to the second level.
Uh-oh.
And that's when going over the speed bumps, just a little scrape. And Laura's like, oh my gosh. just barely.
Yeah.
Had to go to the third level. There were spots up there, thank goodness.
The ceiling just keeps getting lower.
And I'm just like, come on. And I'm just easing it. And of course, there's cars behind me losing their mind.
Right.
And so, but we get in there, we get parked. And we make it. And I can't get up there because I can't hop up high enough because I get to see what it's. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. We're okay. But yeah, a little bit of scrape.
That's not bad.
I mean, honestly, you could probably put whatever lacquer that they finished it with, polished, and it. I mean, it's probably a space not quite. I'd say maybe 2 foot.
Yeah.
But it's right. It's only in the center of it. It's not the whole top piece. So it's like a piece about this. I can't get my hands right on the video. Hello. Think backwards. Okay. Probably about that wide.
Yeah.
And I'd say probably about that long. So I mean, it's pretty centralized. It's literally the very apex of the arch of the of the luggage carrier.
See. Okay.
But it was enough to make everybody sweat.
Of course.
Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. I can't believe I forgot that story. So yeah, so that was the other good story. You can just hear it. We're just shaving off a little.
You see a speed bump, and you're like, oh no.
Well, that was when it was a problem because it was just enough elevation. Oh man, but we made it. We made it anyway. Oh, good stuff. So lots of good stories for you. So what's else? What else?
So I think this was this week.
Oh yes,
I believe, or maybe it was a week before. I'm not sure.
And time has no meaning to me because I've been in the vacation vortex, then the back to work vortex. So I actually missed this.
Yeah,
I can't believe I missed it.
I happened to see this because I'm not a big ESPN watcher, as you guys can go back a few episodes and listen to.
You had mentioned that once.
I'm not a big ESPN fan for a lot of reasons, and I'm particularly not a Stephen A. Smith fan. I just don't like him. I think that there's not a genuine thing about him.
Right.
I just don't. I
Sure.
think that he is. I think it's all about entertainment. I think as far as his integrity as a broadcaster, I just don't think it's there anymore. And it probably was at one point.
Well, it's much more of an argumentative style, whereas it used to be more of a but that's what people love.
Some people love it.
It's like Maury, Jerry Springer or Maury Povich or Steve, the bouncer from Jerry Springer.
Right.
That's what people want to see. They want to see the conflict.
You're right. People like that, and we shouldn't be surprised. People show up and watch boxing, and people show up and watch UFC, and they like in basketball we get excited when it's a physical team and all this stuff, and in football we get excited about the hits, how hard the hits are, and if there's a fight, that's even better. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't we want ESPN to do that too? It's just for me personally. I just can't watch that crap because it's like
the sensationalized nature of it drives you crazy.
It's unwatchable. So anytime that anybody has an issue with Stephen A. Smith, if you want to get me to watch, that's when you'll get me to watch.
Bring that up. Be like, hey.
And so Jay Williams, who is a former Blue Devil,
he is, and excellent ball player.
Excellent
motorcycle
ball player.
Accident. Really, he was on his way to a very, very prosperous NBA career. Which shows you why you don't get on a motorcycle when you got
played for the Bulls, right?
Yeah, played for the Bulls.
So he's on the First Take with Stephen A. Smith, and they're talking about Kyrie Irving, who was
also a former Blue Devil.
Yeah, and Kyrie, who he's a great player. There's a lot of stuff that surrounded him, and he's just kind of.
I don't understand a lot of his social agenda stuff.
I don't get it either.
It's very different. But again, that's him.
And he's,
like I said, it's very odd.
He got traded to the Mavs.
He did.
And so he's playing for the Dallas Mavericks now. And in talking about that, Stephen A. Smith really was just kind of attacking Kyrie Irving in general. Like, not just,
Which he has become kind of that lightning rod,
that's very true.
For a lot of the behaviors, and I think that's affected.
And just like in the middle of it, Jay Williams finally said, hey, man, are you taking this personal? Like, why do you care? And then Stephen A. Smith, I'm Stephen A. Smith. I don't lose any sleep over Kyrie Irving and all this stuff. And Jay Williams is kind of like, I think you might lose a little sleep over him. Like, what's going on? And it kind of turned into an argument to the point that Molly was trying to get control over the whatever. Because I mean, it started getting personal between Jay Williams and Stephen A. Smith. Like they do not like each other.
I believe that.
Like, I mean, and if that's been evident a few times, but in this exchange, you'll have to watch it because
it's too volatile. It's not like when Irvin's on there,
right?
And it's the Cowboys stuff and all that. He and Irvin don't have that, but yeah.
It was.
Jay Williams is a pretty smart dude. I mean, chess player, very
and he knows the game of basketball.
And we're talking about basketball.
Yeah.
Which, Stephen A. played basketball. He did. He did. But he's
not at that level.
No.
Like
I said, you don't drive your motorcycle when you've got all that to lose, because Jay Williams was an excellent ball player.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I mean, he was an excellent ball player.
Well, and though, so like after this whole thing happened, I mean, they were, I mean, like to the point where Stephen A. Smith, who's usually very composed, regardless of what's going on, he's still.
He'll get on his rant, but it's still, you can tell it's still kind of that.
You could tell this was like an argument at a bar,
right?
I mean, he really, I think it caught him off guard. I don't think he's used to defending himself because he just talks and people just don't question him. Right. I would question him. I would love to go on the show. I would absolutely love to go on First Take, 100%. Whatever you want to talk about,
Stephen A., if you're listening to the podcast, please send us an invite.
We can actually start with talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. We can start by talking about that, and I'll be perfectly happy. It's like, I don't know, went to 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl with him. I guess he's terrible. Stephen A. Smith. This is why. So after,
that's a good pickup for the Raiders.
Yeah. So after all this, right? So after this, Stephen A. Smith was on a podcast and basically admitted that he didn't like
what Jay Williams was saying was the truth.
100% the truth. And Jay Williams after this said,
"I told you."
He's like, "I'm not." He did. He's like, "I told you." And he's like, "I'm not intimidated by Stephen A. Smith." He said, "I used to guard Kobe Bryant." He said, "Stephen A. Smith, they got nothing." He's like, "I am not worried." He's like, "I understand." He even said, "I understand ESPN has a pecking order, right?
Sure.
Like I understand that ESPN, like they're getting ready to lay off all these people." Disney in general is, but ESPN is going to be a part of that.
I know,
which is a cycle for ESPN about every 5 years.
That's true.
They lay off about
it's like a purge.
Yeah, but Stephen A. Smith's not going to be one of those.
No,
I mean because he's like they were calling him the face of the network, and I almost threw up when I heard that. I'm like, he is not the face of that network. No. Like I
don't think I would take it that far.
I just No. And so other ESPN news, because God knows I love talking about ESPN, is the
I think you might not like ESPN.
I don't at all.
I think it might be personal.
It is personal. It's 100% personal.
This is why we get along.
Because they jacked with my Knowles and they've jacked with my 49ers, and you just don't do that.
That's enough. That's enough, right?
I'm okay with people telling the truth about those two teams.
Understand.
I'm perfectly fine with that. When the Niners suck, they suck, and I'm with you.
Yes.
But I don't like the whole. Don't jack with my Niners or my Knowles. I get a little.
Maybe in basketball, because
they were terrible in basketball. Yeah. I'm okay. Like I said, I'm okay with the truth. I'm okay with the truth.
Right.
But so the Outside the Lines show, which was actually a really nice segment on ESPN, because Bob Lee, and then that transitioned to Jeremy Schaap, I think.
Yep.
But they've canceled that show.
I know. I saw that.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
because it's not what people want to see.
Do you remember?
They want to see, because it's just a reporting. They want to see the live or the taped or whatever.
Right.
The head to head.
Yeah.
I hit the microphone. I didn't mean to. Sorry, microphone. The Shure SM7B is now destructed. No, people want that. That's not what people want. They want to see the on-air, the gossip, the conflict, the differing point of views. They don't want to see, hey, look at this steroid controversy. They don't want to see any of that backstory stuff.
Well,
they don't want any of that. They want and then they want to watch their ball game, and that's what people want.
It's
a shame, because that's not really it's not really reporting.
If you're under the age of like 37, just turn this off. I'll give you a second. Maybe 36. Okay. For all you folks that are still with us, we all grew up. At least I'm such a big music fan, so I loved MTV.
Right. Oh,
Right.
yes.
I remember the original
I loved
VJs.
MTV. Yeah, I loved MTV.
The Buggles, Video Killed the Radio Star, the very first video ever played on MTV.
Ever played.
And I mean, I loved it. I loved watching the video.
Aha with the animation, the take on. I mean, that was
that
big
was
stuff for the 80s,
That was
man.
awesome.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yes.
That's still like
Yes.
a really cool video.
Tawny
show.
Katane, White Snake.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
I wonder if the twins from Miami. Anyway, I'm thinking about getting into singing.
Here I am. Dun, 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 dun. Rock me like a hurricane.
But we all remember, all of us of a certain age anyway, watching MTV, and most of us, even the people that say, oh, I never watched MTV. Yeah, you did.
Yes, you did.
And,
Stop it.
And so
Carson Daly.
but we just remember when MTV stopped being
Yes.
MTV. And it was like a breakup. I mean, it's like, I can't watch this anymore. Like, this is awful. That's where ESPN is to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up watching Chris Berman and Tom Jackson, and
Well, even like Craig Kilborn and Keith Oberman.
oh, Keith was great. Yeah.
I mean, Stuart Scott.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys. I mean, a lot of those guys came up, and that was just so entertaining because they were just so great at it, and it was great reporting. And the shows before, it was just really good stuff.
Yeah.
It was just really, and anyway, and they've gone away from that because that's not what people want. People want the conflict.
I mean, you remember SportsCenter used to be on like all day,
Yes.
and they would just have different anchors.
Yes.
And then and then they did a show called Sports Science at one point in time
Yep.
that was really good.
Yep.
They would talk about like throwing a football and like all this. I mean, like all this stuff was like so interesting, and then it just went downhill.
Because people want the talk show, the live banter, the conflict, the who's got the scoop, who's full of doo-doo. That's what people want.
That's
what people want.
And ESPN basically ran Skip Bayless off, right? And then Max Kellerman shows up to do First Take, and then he and Stephen A. Smith. It's never been publicized, but it just wasn't working.
Oh, no, it wasn't. And I mean, and it wasn't because Stephen was like, no, I don't have any problem with Max Kellerman. It's like, that's what you say in public when you're
right.
guilty as can be. No, they never had the same chemistry.
No, but and Kellerman like knows his stuff.
Oh, he's excellent.
Yeah, and like he is more of the traditional type broadcaster. Like I'm not going to.
But it just didn't. Yeah, they couldn't get the heat. Skip Bayless will get you aggravated.
Yeah,
and I'm not a huge Bayless fan, honestly. I think it just some of the.
I'm not either.
But I think to handle Stephen A, you needed that type of reporter or former reporter who has all the knowledge,
right?
Because you can't say Skip Bayless doesn't have his knowledge.
Oh, 100%.
But also the personality strong enough to be like, no, you're not just going to bully me around because you're Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
And that's and they kind of, I guess they kind of tried to get some of that with Irvin on there because you're not going to bully Michael Irvin, but it's not the same because I mean he's a football legend,
right?
But he's not a sports reporter.
No,
you know what I mean. So it's the conflict wise, yes, that works out because you're not going to bully him, but you don't have the same knowledge of things,
right?
Even historical knowledge of multiple sports too.
Yeah, I mean when I'm watching, if I watch ESPN now, like you start in the morning and right off the bat you get like, you get Mike Greenberg. Is it Greenberg? Is that right?
They're
like
on Get Up.
Get Up.
Yeah.
Because he stopped doing his show with
Mike Golick.
Yeah,
because they had conflict.
They did, yeah, and that was the end of that. And that was one of the longest running.
That
shows.
was one of the longest running shows.
And so like he does his thing, right, which is kind of the same setting. It's a little more tame, and then the crossovers they'll bring Stephen A. Smith on for like a few minutes,
like a segment,
and then it's right to First Take, and then it's all this, and it's like, I mean, this is their whole programming schedule.
Yeah.
It's like what happened to just Sports Center talking about who won the games last night? I just don't understand. And and even college football it sometimes gets to that level, and that is upsetting because that's like the last thing, I don't want them to screw up college football too.
Well, it's getting worked on.
I know.
It's unfortunate, but it's they're working on it.
They do this show, and it's like a 3-hour show to tell you about who's in the playoffs and whatever. And it's like, come on, man, they just voted, just whatever.
Right.
It's like
a little bit of analysis, let it speak for itself.
Yeah,
but that's not what people want to see. The vast majority, or I guess the newer viewing audience or whatever, they want all the other stuff. They're not as much interested in the purity of the sport, and they want all the other stuff. That's what people want.
I feel like ESPN. I feel like they're at a crossroads because I really could see that going completely downhill fast. Like,
and it may very well work against them. It could definitely happen.
I think I can see ESPN just not being. I mean, imagine ESPN only existing to just show games.
Right.
And like nothing else.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I don't know.
It's a changing landscape. A lot of stuff's going to be interesting to see.
And Stephen A. Smith writes his book, and of course he's always mentioning that,
Of course he is.
He's always, he'll throw that in. He's like, I woke up this morning, and I'm glad I put that in my book. And I'm like, oh God, this guy. But anytime that I'm like home and I'm not working or something, and I turn it on, I watch like 2 minutes of it. I'm like, I can't do this.
You can't stand it. Yeah,
this is awful.
Yeah,
it's
just changed so much.
It's just, it's another MTV where it's just not. Now MTV is all about how many pregnant teenagers can we get on a TV show?
Yeah.
And
they have the classic MTV where
yes.
they have the videos all
right.
day. They do have that, but that's you have to make sure it's through whether it's YouTube or
right.
Fubo.
Fubo is what we use.
Fubo.
Yeah. And MTV Classic is one of the channels, and I actually love that.
Yeah. It's great.
People will text me and they're like, "Dude, turn it on MTV Classic right now," and I'm like, "Oh, awesome, Beastie Boys," So maybe I'm just becoming an old man.
Maybe it's all just
I'm an old curmudgeon.
Maybe it's all just sabotage. Listen, all y'all, it's sabotage.
It is.
I can't stand it. I know you planned it.
It's a sabotage. You have to fight for your rights.
Crystal ball ain't so crystal clear. Intergalactic planetary.
Yeah, I remember when my mom threw away my best porno mag.
No sleep till Brooklyn. Brass monkey, that funky monkey. Sorry,
I love some Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys, good stuff. Good stuff.
So what you want? What you want?
That video is psychedelic too.
It is.
That's for that age, you're like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah,
that's it. So what you want? Get so funny with the money that you flaunt.
I was gonna bring up my test results because I came for one of my checkups.
We can get them next week.
We'll have to get them next week because I've got a lot of questions.
Okay, that's good.
It seems as though I have too many red blood cells.
It's okay. You need to drink some more water.
Is it a dehydration thing?
I would think so.
Well, I do drink Monster now, so I bet you're probably right.
About 64 ounces of water a day.
64?
64 ounces of water.
Seems like I would drown.
No.
I do drink
8 cups of water is now there's some debate should it be like 1 ounce for every kilogram of body weight?
Yeah.
Which that's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water.
So I used to tell people, the age old was like, you probably need to get about 8 cups of water a day. Now if you're eating things that have water in it, if you're eating vegetables or eating fruits or you're eating,
we know that ain't happening.
Right, I know. You can get natural water through that, but yeah, you really need about 64 ounces of water a day. So you could have sleep apnea. It could be those closet cigarettes you're smoking.
It is. That's exactly what
you could have a kidney tumor. But I don't think it's any of that because the level was so mild. I think it was just where we were fasting and we hadn't had enough fluids on board.
Well, that's true because I didn't eat.
Yeah, you needed. Yeah, that's why I wasn't even worried about
it. We'll talk about the results, but I will say I was so happy because they left 2 voicemails.
How about that?
With exactly.
See, man.
With exactly.
Boom shakalaka.
That's all I'm asking for. Like, I'm in a meeting. I'll listen to this later.
That's right. We got you, dude.
And if it was something really bad, you would have called me and said, "Hey, you need to come back."
That's what I always tell people. I'm like, if you get a phone call from me, it's not good.
You're jacked up.
Just be aware, because if I'm having to call you, that means it's concerning enough to me. That doesn't always mean like we're dying.
Yeah.
But it means something's screwed up enough that we need to do some other stuff in a relatively fast manner.
I did make a joke at the front desk that I don't think they heard though.
Hey.
I think they missed it because they asked me if I'd had COVID or the flu or symptoms or whatever, and I said no.
My syphilis.
I said no, but I'm pretty sure I'm pregnant. I think that just went. Yeah. I'm assuming when I come in, they're like, oh God, here we go again.
No, there's no warnings on your banner when you get checked in. I don't do that kind of stuff. Some people will have like a lot of information on the banner, like when you first pull up somebody. I don't really do that.
There was a lady there who ran into the wall when she left.
Oh,
yeah.
I hope that wasn't my patient.
I don't know. She came out because
was she not looking, or was she dizzy?
No. I think she just
or was she trying to hurt herself?
She was a little.
I mean, that has happened before where people have they're like actually trying to do something to themselves. Like, whoa.
Well, she was kind of fidgety anyway.
Oh,
there was some fidgetiness. Fidgety. But so I was talking to a family member who was there. I know because you're their doctor.
Yes.
Our entire family goes to this doctor.
It's good business.
And so I was talking with them and made a few jokes about you, and I'm like, listen, I mean, if you still want to go see this guy, I'm just saying, I've never seen this diploma.
Have you listened to our podcast? So, there are no verified credentials here. There are no verified credentials.
So we were talking to them, and they sit where I normally sit, which is like right by the door, because I know what door I'm going in. When
right.
Call.
Well, sure.
So,
right.
So
makes sense. I would do the same thing.
And so they opened the door, and they asked, and they called the family member back, and then the lady came out about the same time, and when she did, she kind of turned around and was like, kind of interjected herself into our conversation, which she wasn't in. But she interjected herself.
Oh.
Then when she turned around, she walked right into the wall. And she said, I do this all the time.
That was not my patient. Yeah. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Got a little proprioception problem. The awareness of the surroundings and where your body is.
Woman, there's a wall there.
Man. I mean, we've had crazy stuff happen. We've had people trip and fall and get hurt and stuff. I mean, sometimes people just aren't paying attention.
Oh, so two complaints that I have.
Uh-oh.
About my visit.
Okay.
Right, two complaints.
Okay. I know about the ophthalmoscope and the otoscope.
Oh,
we've talked about this before.
That one, that's a third.
We've talked.
That's a third.
I know. We don't want to make the list longer.
So the two complaints I have are on the same device, and it's the TV out front. We've talked about it before. It needs to be replaced. And what is the effing channel that you guys are watching out? God, that's depressing. It's like this Western crap, and I'm like,
I have no idea because I don't pick it.
It's terrible.
I don't pick it.
Who decided that this is what everybody would want to watch? Oh. And I don't know if it's Big Valley, your valley, her valley, this valley. This land is your land.
It's not Little House on the Prairie, is it?
No, it's like an old Western.
So you know what happened? This is what I know has happened. We used to have like Fox News on there.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit different than how it used to be.
Sure.
Not everybody wants to watch the news in general because, it is, and you get in the conflict. So I bet we had some people complain about the news channel of choice.
Lord.
And I don't set this. I have nothing to do with it because I don't watch the news, period.
Right.
I just don't, unless it's something crazy, and then I'll, but I read, whether it's Wall Street Journal or whatever,
right.
I will read the articles of things that, stuff in the news, that's how you miss the time change when the time changes. But I bet they put it on something very neutral because that's just where we're at, because nobody's going to be. It's just but so now it's just depressing as can be.
It is. It's awful.
I'll have to talk to him about that. I'm glad you brought that up because I honestly,
it's like this Western thing, and it's like.
Maybe somebody at the front desk likes that stuff.
Well, then they
maybe they. I don't know.
Maybe they don't need to work there anymore. Then
Hey, man, it's hard to find help nowadays.
I know, that's true.
Good night of money. I'll check it out. I don't know. I know.
It's awful.
Now, the older TVs.
That TV, I mean, it's a flat screen. Folks, I'm telling you, if you're watching this, it's a flat screen TV that's still like this thick. Okay. I mean, folks, let's just be honest here. Forget Doc's here. This is just you and me, audience.
He's trying to go solo.
He's
Michael and the Jackson 5.
He's a doctor. They're making some cash. They can afford a $300 TV.
I know it is quite bad because you can get a very decent TV for like $300.
I do, right?
I know.
Instead of that 42-inch. It's awful.
I mean,
I'm like, and like I'm always making jokes to the people out front or whatever. I'm like, do I need to kick in like a tip jar so we can get a new TV? How about I just buy one? How about I just buy it and bring it? It's like I'm perfectly okay with that. It doesn't bother me.
it's kind of like our PA system where it's that archaic PA system that's
I've never.
We need an ambulance. Oh, one time.
I've never heard the PA.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hopefully, never will.
I need a ambulance.
We got an emergency over here. Yeah, one time an employee did that over the intercom.
Oh.
Over the intercom, and it was like that's not quite the proper way to communicate that. Come and get somebody.
I mean, there's medical professionals.
Right, you
there.
don't have to. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Anyway, so that's number one. So yeah, the TV that's as thick as my glasses before I had LASIK. Right. So that's pretty significant.
It's that, and then the big His Valley, whatever that is, whatever show is watching.
So they both have to do with the TV.
Yeah, it's about. Oh yeah, it's completely the TV. I get great service there, if you can call it that. I mean, I guess you guys do like to poke me with needles, and I'm not overly
true.
I mean, you took.
I know there's 2 little tiny tubes of blood.
You took 8 pints of blood.
They wiped you out.
8 pints of blood.
I saw you looked a little pasty there when you went to the bathroom.
Do you know that I didn't write anything funny on the cup either? I should have this.
That would have been awesome.
I'll usually write something like
been,
Dave's urine.
That would have been awesome. Or do like your signature line, or do like Dave and Doc or something. You could yeah. Or like just some inappropriate stick figures. I mean, something that you should have totally done that. That would have been really funny.
It would have been.
That'd have been really funny.
But I just wrote my name.
We got to work on the TV. So the material as well as the actual physical apparatus.
My suggestion is, and no one cares what I think.
Not true.
But my suggestion is that perhaps you put it on like the game show network. Because everybody could just love that.
That's
right?
a good idea. I'll tell them. I'll say, hey, let's get the game show network.
I mean, like the Western that was on, best I could tell, the dad was going to go shoot somebody.
Oh, that's good.
And then, the kids were going to go with him, right? Because Paul's going out to shoot the
where we could be listening to On the Price is Right.
Yeah, and so
on Card Sharks, higher, low, freeze. Then they did a reboot with Snoop Dogg,
of course,
for Card Sharks. I mean, that's the best thing ever. Snoop, oh, for hizzle shizzle, you should have froze my nizzle. I mean.
Oh God! I'm a Press Your Luck kind of fan, but they don't call it that anymore. They call it Whammy.
I know.
Pissed me off,
which is bizarre.
It used to be Press Your Luck.
I don't understand that. Yes, that was a good show too. Yes.
Are any of the pyramid games still on?
Yes, one of those is actually on, I think, on one of the main channels.
Because it all changed. Like it was like
when Drew Carey hosts The Price is Right now, which is bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, The Price is Right's so weird now.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
but my goodness, it's been on for 100 years.
I mean, they have the male models and stuff, and it's like, I okay, just but no, it's like no. I bet if you ask men and women, if you ask 1,000 men and women, would you rather see male models or female models? I bet all of them are going to say
that's because dudes are nasty.
Yes.
Men are just nasty. We're nasty.
Yeah.
We're nasty. Let's just call it what it is.
I mean, I'd rather see the twins from Miami.
Well,
I've become a Miami. I'm going to drop Florida State and go with Miami.
If you convert over that, we really need to have a talk.
That's true. That is not going to happen. I'm not a Miami fan. I am right now just because of...
I get it.
I mean, good Lord.
Go Aztecs. Even though I want Texas to win because that's who I picked, just to prove a point.
Texas might win it.
But go Aztecs.
But yeah, San Diego State, that would be really awesome.
I would love it. FAU and San Diego State in the Final Four would be super cool. I'm picking it right now. FAU, 9 seed making it. San Diego State, Texas, UConn.
Yeah. I got the
UConn pulls it. San Diego State, UConn, San Diego State to win it.
Nice.
None of that's going to work out, but that's what I'm saying.
Well,
Kansas State's going to win.
We'll have our Final Four this weekend.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
We'll know by Sunday night.
We will know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for signing up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with us and all our
right.
All the things.
Hey, folks, of course, all this is available in one friendly location, DaveDoc045. That's DaveDoc045.com. Episode 45 is in the books.
Take them to the train station.
Take them to the train station.
See y'all.
See you, folks.